We got Mandel Nallo back here on the program. He's coming off another highlight reel win, this time over Carrington Banks this past Friday at Bellator 207. Mandel, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, James. How are you?
I'm doing great. It seems to me that every time you get a fight booked with Bellator, it's at the last minute, because I didn't even know about this fight until I see that it was on the card basically a week before. When did you find out about that fight?
So the Carrington Banks fight,
Yeah.
found out, 3 weeks before, 4 weeks before, but we had known for a little while, maybe like 5 weeks, that it was going to be probably on the 207 card. So
Okay.
didn't know the opponent, but I think I told you last time, like, I don't know, overthinking the matchup doesn't help at all. So 3 weeks is plenty.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. Let's talk about the performance, though. You went out there. I know the first round he was able to get you down, but you really adjusted in the second, and of course you get that highlight reel finish. Just talk about your performance, and just could that fight have gone any better other than the first round? Maybe I know you're kind of shaking your head at that one.
Yeah, I think that it went. So part of the game plan, because Carrington, he's an amazing fighter. He was 3-1 in Bellator before our fight, and one thing we noticed is that he does tend to have a better first round than his subsequent rounds tend to be slightly worse. So we knew round one was losable, and I made a bit of a tactical error in squeezing an anaconda choke that wasn't in fully, and so I decided at the end of round one to take a bit of a break, and kind of spent probably too much time on bottom, but I think round one went fine. Like, outside of being on bottom, I didn't take any damage. I defended the first takedown. I initiated takedown and actually completed it, and then we got into a wrestling exchange after me throwing up the anaconda and missing it, and then me deciding, all right, I'm gonna spend some time getting my arms back. And round two was a minute long.
We've seen you get highlight reel wins before, but this one was different. I mean, this was on a big card. This was on a main card. And you also, got some mic time and everything that people saw. What was the response like after this win? Because I think this, for people in the know like myself, we know the talent level. But I think for everyone else, it's like, hey, this is who Mandel Nallo is, the guy everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, it was it feels largely the same, because the end goal is to be world champion. So it's still like a long way off from that, but it's kind of nice, having people at least know who I am now. Like the last one, I remember my friends telling me like, "Oh, Mandel, this is a big break for you, 18-second KO." And then I was just some schmuck in the gym still. But now, people realize I'm okay. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'd say so. And did you see that the SportsCenter account for ESPN in the States actually retweeted your highlight? Did you see that?
I heard about that the night of, and it was wild. I don't know. That's crazy.
Now, you also put out sort of not a challenge, but you said to anyone out there, hey, come train with us at TriStar. Have you had people hit you up and be like, hey, I'm coming on Monday?
No, nobody's taken me up after both fights. That's like, I don't know why, but that's what I say. It's like, I'm training at TriStar. I don't really know what to say. And I feel like that's something that's worth saying anyways. So yeah, I'm just trying to big up the gym. It's not like a challenge or anything. It's
no. I know. Sorry, I didn't have the right word for it, but I know what you meant. You're just kind of like, hey, come and train with us. We're always trying to get better, type thing. That's
like we just love people come, and if they can deal with the schedule, because it's a pretty hard schedule. It's great having more guys in the room every week. So we've had a couple additions over the years that have been huge for the team. They're super helpful. So.
Well, you guys just had Volkan Ozdemir in the gym. I saw this past week. He's headlining that UFC Moncton card next weekend.
Yeah, and he. So I wasn't at the gym, but
oh right, yeah, because you're back home. Yeah.
All my friends that I spoke to said he's a super nice guy and fun to train with.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. Come to TriStar.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's you never know who's going to be walking through those doors. What was the feedback from Bellator after the fight? Did you talk to them at all? Did they mention anything about next fight or anything like that?
No, they they had a lot on their plate, right? Because it was a back-to-back weekend. So I'm sure they were happy with it. They told me they're happy with it, but they didn't really give me any information as to what would be next because, you know, it was the second half of the heavyweight semifinals.
Right.
So they were just like, they were super spread thin. But I can't imagine they were upset with it.
No. And I mean, again, this was, I think, I hate to use this word, but I feel like this was your coming out party for a lot of people because, you know, the opponent was tough in Banks who, you know, you mentioned the Bellator record, but he was undefeated actually, you know, in his pro career before he lost to Piccolotti and now he's lost 2 in a row. But I mean, nevertheless, he was a hyped up guy. So that was a big win for you.
Yeah, it was, I mean, as far as my career goes, it was, I'm sure, I guess I was underdog in the betting lines, but even, you know, it makes sense for me to be underdog. I am relatively untested, and his career has been a lot bigger than mine. And it was nice to prove that I'm in the mix.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up the betting lines because I don't know if you saw at one point you were like plus 250. Did you have a lot of people messaging you say that they won money on your fight?
So I have a friend, Steven Sims. He's a fighter out of Ontario that trained at TriStar, and he's with me every fight week. And he's always telling me who bet on me and how much before the fight, and that shit freaks me right out. Like, it's already a lot of pressure, and then when you hear somebody bet way too much money on your fight, it's like, oh, geez. So, yeah, I heard some people made some good money on me.
Yeah, and Olivier, I know, put something out there. There was a lot of people, because I don't know if you saw, well, you wouldn't have seen because you don't pay attention to it, but you were an underdog, and then the line actually shifted. You actually, you know, the betting line actually came more in your favor to a certain point. So I think word got out. I think Ollie might have, you know, broken the secret there that people should have bet on your fight.
Nice. I mean, it's nice to have friends, I guess.
Do you have a manager, or do you manage yourself?
No, I got a manager.
Oh, you do?
I got George's manager.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Oh, so you're CAA then?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's awesome. I was going to say, because I mean, you know, going forward, that stuff's important in terms of matchups and everything. So you're definitely in good hands there. When would you like to return? I know you like to fight anytime. They kind of joked about it on the broadcast about you fighting once a year, but what I don't think they talked about was that you've tried to get fights, they just haven't come through. Guys don't want to fight you.
Yeah, especially pre-Bellator, like it was very, very difficult. And then I think another thing is we think that there's a lot of value in training. Like, you know, you can fight 6 times in a year, but how much did you really get better? And then if you win 4 of those 6 fights, are you technically skilled enough to challenge, you know, the people that you got to the level of with those fights? You know, like, you want to be over prepared for your next matchup. So I would like to fight soon. Like, I would like to fight far more than once a year. But, you know, I don't want to fight a ridiculous amount of times in a year. I think getting better is the main goal. And I want to be the best fighter. I don't want to be the guy who fights the most in a year. And I think it's somewhat of a fine line.
I'm hearing rumblings about Bellator doing a show in Canada next year. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't. You probably hear more than me.
Well, I don't know. You're in the know as well too. I mean, you talk to guys, so I know that's the rumblings because they haven't come. I was at the last Bellator show they had in Canada. That was in 2014, I think, and that was at Casino Rama. If you, well, you know where that is because that's, you know, close to Toronto. So hopefully they can end up getting it done because there's a lot of Canadians in Bellator now. You know, Rory, yourself. You know,
I think we could put on a good show, and I feel like Eastern Canada's kind of starved for big cards over the past 3 years. And you know, like, they would definitely sell tickets for it, and people like fighting out here, and they're good fighters from out here, so it makes sense to me. Yeah.
And is there anyone you want to fight next, or do you just leave that up to your management?
No, I leave that mostly up to Faraz. You know, he's a smart guy, and he's far better at that than me. Yeah, a fighter is crazy. We just go, yeah, that guy, sure, whatever. You know, that's our job, is to be okay fighting whoever. So you need somebody pulling on the reins, being like, no, you know, let's get more money for that fight, or, you know, let's take that fight on a new contract, or whatever, you know, the reason might be. They get to see that, and I think that it's smart to leave it in somebody. You know, cut your own hair. You know.
No, I agree with that. When are you heading back to Montreal to train at TriStar, or you just sort of wait until the next fight comes up?
No, I'll be back. I'll be back in in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. Post fight, especially. It's hard to be really happy post fight because there's a lot. I'm not the best in the world, far from it. So, especially on the night, competitively, like I think technically I'm very good. I'm up there, but competitively I'm pretty untested, and it'd be nice to, just get better. And like there's mistakes that were made in the fight that I know I could get better if I was back in the gym, but it's important to have balance in life. So
downtime, yeah.
I got to, I got to appreciate it. I got to appreciate wins a little more. That's the thing that I don't.
Speaking of downtime, any video games on deck right now during this period where you're taking some time off?
It's weird. Before fights, I'm always excited about playing video games and stuff, but I never end up playing because I feel like losing in video games like takes some kind of magic away from me pre-fight.
Right.
So I just watching a lot of video games. So I watch a lot of Twitch channels.
Yeah.
And the LCS finals, which is League of Legends, that's happening in Korea. So I've been watching a lot of that. And then I have the certain streams that I go to a lot. I just watch video games.
Yeah.
I don't even play them.
That's the thing these days. They had you're from Toronto. They had what used to be called the Watermark, that bar down on Queens Quay. They actually, I walked in there one time to go for a drink with some buddies. The place was packed.
Yeah.
Why? They're watching Leagues of Legends. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man, it's the best.
It's a new sporting event now. It's crazy.
I might go down there. For the LCS finals.
There you go. Yeah, you got to check it out. And we certainly got to check out you for your next fight, Mandel. Again, congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
Just to remind people where they can find you on social media. You have the best Instagram name. I still maintain that. And if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, man, the floor is yours.
So you can – I am far more active on Instagram than I am on Twitter. I will still check Twitter, but I probably won't post anything. I'm just a lurker.
Yeah.
It's nice to get news on. But Instagram, find me at Rat Garbage. And then shout out to TriStar Gym, everybody there. Arnold Allen, my roommate and good friend, is fighting November 30th, I believe. So good luck, Arnold. And then, Eamon, Louis, George, Rory, Robbie Stein, and everybody else at the gym. Mursad helped me a lot for this fight, so Mursad Bektik, shout outs to you. And everybody at TriStar, I love you, my family, my beautiful wife, Evelyn Dell. Thank you.